What's good, Detroit? It's 105.1 The Bounce is Lisha B from the Morning Rollout. And I've been on a journey of like figuring out what I want to be doing this summer. I'm newly in Detroit and I still want to be able to move my body a little bit. And I think we got an expert in the building. She goes by the name of Ramoni. Hi, girl.
Hi, Lisha. Thank you for having me.
I am thank you for having me, first of all, because you've been doing the things when it comes to yoga, Miss Ma'am. So let's start from the beginning of your journey. What made you take on yoga? Like, what made yoga something personal to you?
I started doing yoga actually in Detroit, Michigan. In 2017, one of my friends asked me if I wanted to go to a hot yoga class, and I said yes, and I've been doing yoga literally ever since.
So what about yoga makes you, like, what do you use yoga for? Because obviously not only are you an instructor, but I assume that you use yoga in your daily practice of life.
Yes.
So what about yoga is special to you?
I like that you are able to let out all of your emotions in a better way. So like if I am having a bad day, I can do yoga. It'll help me breathe. It'll help me think about things. It'll help me meditate rather than cussing somebody out or yelling or, just being angry inside.
That makes sense. I mean, it seems very soothing, at least when I be going to yoga.
Yeah, it's really relaxing.
But I like that you do a little bit of a spin to it because it's not the typical, how do I say, the soothing just music that, you kind of zone out and just zen out. You have like different genres that so not only do you have obviously the yoga practices and using those to meditate, but also you get to meditate to the music that you actually love. So why did you choose that lane for your own business?
It honestly just made sense. A lot of people ask me, like, what was the thought process? There was no thought process. I just listened to a specific kind of music. So I've always liked 90s and like early 2000s hip hop and R&B. So that's what I'm always playing. So quite naturally, when I do yoga, that's what I'm doing yoga too. And I initially started teaching at a yoga studio. And when I would play my playlist, the students were like, oh my God, I've never heard a playlist this good in yoga. And I'm like, what are y'all teachers playing? And they're playing, waterfalls and instrumentals. And that's just not me. I want to listen to everything that we grew up on. I want to listen to Anita Baker, Aretha Franklin. And so it just really made sense for me to put that, like use that as an aspect in my yoga practice. And then when I saw how it made people feel, like people were like, oh my God, I haven't heard that song since the 80s, or I was in high school when that came out, and it made people feel good. I was like, okay, this is something. Like I'm thinking it's, regular. People haven't even heard these songs in so long.
I love that people come to you and didn't even realize what they were going to get out of it from the end of it. So I've always wondered when it comes to yoga instructors, do you have to take a class in order to become a yoga instructor? Like, what's the process that you had to go to? Because I want people to like really understand that this is serious. Like, you have to go through work to become a licensed yoga instructor.
Yes, so you have a few options. I took my 200-hour certification. So it's like a classroom setting, but it's in a yoga studio. And it was 3 times a week for a few months, and it was night classes. So it was from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you just learn everything. You learn the basics about like anatomy. You learn how to teach a class, how to teach to different body types. Like it's a lot that goes into it. I know people just think like yoga is stretching, but it really does take some learning.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when you just dropped anatomy, I'm like, okay, so you have to go through an anatomy and physiology essentially course. Well, that makes sense though, because you're targeting different parts of the body, so you should know it. I don't know why I didn't ever think.
Yes, girl, anatomy, and then like philosophy. It's just a lot that goes into it, and like just learning about different yoga instructors that came out with like different techniques about certain things. You just learn a lot of that in your teacher training. But there are yoga instructors who do like 500-hour teacher trainings, and there are people who fly to Bali to learn yoga. Like you can take a lot of different avenues. There are even people who do online when they're not able to go into a yoga studio. And it does cost a pretty penny. So I was fortunate enough to get a full scholarship to do my yoga teacher training. So
come on now.
Yeah.
Now, how did that happen? Was there like a competition, or did you have to do a scholarship like whole?
You had to apply to it.
Okay.
And it was through Core Power Yoga. And so I had only went to one Core Power class. And after that, I was on their email list. And one day I was sitting on the couch and I got an email and it said, you know, if you want, since you are Black, you know, it was a BIPOC scholarship. Since you are Black, you can apply for this scholarship. And I applied immediately. And I just started telling people I got it. I was like, yeah, I got this scholarship. I ain't had no scholarship. But then like in a few weeks, they told me that I was a person that got it. And it was only maybe like 4 other Black people in my teacher training. And it was about 30 of us. So everybody else was white.
Wow.
And back to like what you talked about, the music, that's also why it was important for me to use Black music, because a lot of people have white instructors.
Right.
I didn't have a Black instructor up until maybe like 2023, which is when I started yoga with Ramoni. So, yeah.
Wow. Just the fact that in a class of 30, only 4 people, like, but that's also not surprising at the same time, because like you said, most generally it is not people of color that you see. So it's exciting to have you in the industry now, girl. Yes. But I want to know, so take me back to the first class that you ever did. Was there anxiety that you had, or did you feel like you were ready at that point to take the next step?
Girl, so I told you it was a hot yoga class. So hot yoga is 105 degrees.
Uh-huh.
I had just eaten, are you from Detroit?
I'm from DC, but...
Do you know what a corned beef sandwich is?
Yes.
Okay, so I just had a corned beef sandwich and I ate it right before class. So I didn't even finish that whole class. I literally ran out of there. I ended up like having to throw up and then I left.
Oh,
but
no.
I liked it. You know, it wasn't the teacher's fault that was happening to me. So that was my first experience.
So compared to your first experience in yoga ever to your first experience teaching yoga, did we have a better experience then?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you...
But it definitely made me more attuned to what students may be going through.
Right.
So, like, if you are feeling heat exhaustion, if you did eat a really big meal beforehand, I'm always able to tell people just go at your own pace. So, like, don't feel like you have to go above and beyond if that's not something that's in your body today.
Right. So that's why I wanted to know, because I feel like being a student and obviously having such an unfortunate situation, yes, you can kind of parallel to them a lot easier than just, you know, not having been a student at all and not having that experience. You don't know what they're going through.
Yes. And even to take it further, like what we go through as like Black people when it comes to wellness. I feel like since I was a student for 9 to 10 years, it's just human nature for me to like know what my students need as far as like being Black or brown women in a yoga class, because I didn't even want to be a yoga instructor. When I was doing yoga, I was always like, no, I'm not going to be an instructor, because I'm originally a personal trainer and I was just cool with being a personal trainer. But I had an experience in LA where I live where I was the only Black woman in a yoga class. And when I came in, the instructor was rude. And then she looked me up and down and she said, do you even do yoga? And I was like, yes. And by the end of class, obviously, she was like, oh my God, Ramoni, like, you're amazing. And I'm like, I know I'm amazing. I do yoga every single day. But then she was like, you know, you should definitely come back. I'm like, I'm not coming back. But after that, I was like, okay, even though I personally don't want to be a yoga instructor, I feel like, of course, that changed. But I ended up seeing there's a need for me to be a yoga instructor. I'm like, you know how to work with people. You know what people need. And you know how to guide people in a professional manner to where they don't feel discriminated against when they come into your studio. So that was the catalyst for me becoming a yoga instructor. I was like, okay, if I'm having this experience, I know that other Black women are also having this experience, and I'm going to keep coming back to different yoga classes because I do yoga. But a person, if it's their first time doing yoga and you do something like that, like, you know, have you ever even done yoga, and you make them feel small, they're not going to come back.
Exactly.
And so I was like, I need to be an instructor. And that was what pushed me into doing this.
Wow, come on now. From just an egregious discriminatory moment to that, channeling that into being like, you know what, I want to be better for others. Yeah. And that's what you did. Congratulations to you, girl.
Thank you.
Your heart is pure.
It's definitely the Detroit in me. It's just like, you're never going to try to play me. You're not about to play me at a yoga class.
That's one thing that I've learned about Detroiters. Yeah. The pride is real, and also you're not going to mess with me or say anything bad about me, and I'm going to one-up you every time.
Every single time. I'm going to be the best that I can be. So, yeah, shout out to Detroit.
Come on now. So you mentioned that you live in LA now. Mm-hmm. What was the transition? Why did you move to LA? Was it because of yoga?
No, so I've only been a yoga instructor for the past 2 years. I moved to LA 4 years ago, but prior to that, I was living in Tennessee for college, and I just kind of felt like I had outgrown the space because I went to college there. So
Right.
I just kind of feel like I grew up there, and there wasn't a lot for me as an adult. Like, I just wanted to see more and be more. I wanted to charge more. I wanted to, get paid more. And I felt like LA was the space to do that in. But I was a personal trainer at the time. So in my mind, I was like, I'm going to be a celebrity personal trainer, and I'm going to move to LA. And, that kind of happened. But then I was able to transition into what I was really meant to do, which was yoga.
And I know that you also do virtual sessions as well. And that's been very popular from what I'm seeing.
The girls love virtual.
What started that? What was the catalyst? Did someone that you instruct ask you for this, or was just the next step when it came to what you were thinking strategically?
People have been asking me to do virtual classes since I started. So like my best friend, my mom, everybody was like, you need to do virtual. And I had imposter syndrome. And I was like, I'm not going to do virtual. I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody's going to sign up. Just like all of the negative things that you tell yourself. And then this year, I don't know what, I just ended up getting a DM from a girl, and she was like, oh, like, I just wish you did virtual classes. And I'm not going to lie, I was in a space where I'm like, I need some money. I let me just try to do these virtual classes. And I did the virtual class, and I think like 50 women had signed up just from me promoting it in 2 days. And they were from everywhere. So they weren't even just from Michigan or LA. They were from the Bahamas. They were, like Australia. Like, you have people from everywhere. And I guess when you're the one posting on social media, you don't realize there are people everywhere watching you. You just think, okay, I'm just posting. Ain't nobody looking at this.
The reach is crazy.
It's crazy. And even if you do see like, 1,000 people like this, you don't really register. Like, these are living human beings that are following you.
Right.
And so I was like, ain't nobody gonna sign up, but they did sign up. And everybody was like, okay, so are we doing this again next week, same time? And I was like, I guess so. And I, just started doing virtual literally in February of this year.
Literally, one of my friends was the person who sent me your Instagram being like, girl, you need to go ahead and sign up for this virtual class. Because I took it, and it's great. And I'm like, okay, the fact that she's got people from my home talking about this. Yes.
The girls in DC love the virtual classes. Yeah.
My friend, one of the things about my best friend is she don't recommend things unless it's actually like she's tried it a few times and she can recommend it to like anybody on the street. The passion behind it, this text message that I got, made it so that I was like, okay, no, let me just reach out to her and see if she can kiki real quick. Because clearly she's doing something incredible for her to be all the way in LA, making an impact to my people in DC.
Yeah.
So how does it feel you've already kind of explained it. You feel like success at this point, or are you still dreaming of bigger and better things for yourself?
I'm always dreaming of bigger and better. I am just now starting to realize I do have to kind of sit in my accomplishments, because I'll accomplish something and then I just go to the next thing, and it won't hit me until like my best friend or my parents are like, oh my God, you did this thing. And I'm just like, okay, it's the next thing. So even with this interview, I'm really trying to be like, okay, like I have an interview, this is good. But like in my mind, I'm like, okay, the next thing that I have to do. So I think that's when I just also have to practice what I preach and be present and like sit in the moment and really say like, Ramoni, you accomplished these things. But to answer your question, people like recommending my class and things like that, it's still kind of like a surreal feeling. I was at an event last week, and this girl was like, you the girl who be teaching R&B yoga? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I took your class a few times. I'm like, oh my God, hi. So I don't think I'll ever be used to that, because like I said, I just see myself as like Ramoni. And even when I'm always working, so I'm always like posting something. I spend most of my time alone working or like thinking about what I need to be doing. So I'm never feeling like I'm bigger than the program. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just always feeling like Ramoni who's working. So when I do go in public and people be knowing me or they're recommending me, I'm like, oh my, like, I appreciate it, but I don't think I'll ever like be used to it for real.
Right. Do you see that as your proudest moment? And if not, what would be your proudest moment in this journey so far?
My proudest moment is helping people through real life problems. I have students who have lost children, who have lost parents, who are going through divorces. And when they tell me, I'm only 26. And so when like women who are 50 plus are telling me, your class helped me get through this divorce, your class helped me get through losing my child, I'm coming every week. And, you know, this has helped me not act on things that I wanted to act on as far as like depression. I think that those are my proudest moments. I was just talking to somebody last week and they were like, you don't know how many lives you change just by being you. Just because I just be teaching my class, I just be being me. And it's like people be needing that. People be needing kindness. People be needing a listening ear. People need to breathe and relax. People need to stretch and move their body. And even though it might be regular to me, most people are working, they going home, they paying bills, like they're not in a relaxed state of mind. They're in survival mode. So I think that my biggest accomplishment is helping people get out of survival mode and see that they too enjoy, like they too should enjoy life. Like they get the chance to enjoy life as well. You don't just have to pay bills and die. Like there's so much life out here to live. And even if something negative happened to you, even if you had a not so pleasant experience, you went through a breakup, you can always go to yoga and everything's gonna be okay.
I love that you're always, first of all, the passion that you have while you're talking. Amazing.
I know, I feel myself being like,
no, you know. Because it shows how much you actually care about the people who take your class. Because, I mean, you have thousands of followers. You just talked about the fact that you have multiple people reaching out to you from multiple different areas of the world. And the fact that the reason why you're even in this is because of someone's rudeness towards you. Just the passion that you have for people in general. Using that in your business is going to take you far, girl. That's great. Like, I can just see it.
I'm like, it'd be something as small as like if a student comes to my class one time, typically I try to remember their name. I try to remember everybody's name. So if somebody comes again and I'm like, oh, hey, Tiffany, and she's like, you remember me? I'm like, clearly we met two weeks ago. And they're like, you know, no other teacher has ever remembered my name.
Wow.
It just be small things like that. Like, stop looking at your students as just like, you know, just numbers. Mm-hmm. These are human beings with real lives. And I enjoy connecting with them. So I do feel very passionate about my students.
I love that, girl. So obviously I feel like people are probably like, okay, so where can I sign up as soon as possible? Mm-hmm. So can you tell people how they can either be in person with you in Detroit or maybe LA, or how they can get into the virtual class?
So this Sunday, I don't know when this is going to air, but this Sunday on July 6th at 2 p.m., I am teaching a hip-hop and R&B yoga class in Livonia, Michigan at BYOC Fit. But if you are ever in LA, I be having to move studios a bit, but yeah. You can just sign up on www.glowwithro.com, and you can follow me on all platforms at Yoga with Ramoni, and Ramoni is spelled Ramoni, and I'm working towards 100K on all platforms, so if you could follow me right now, I would really appreciate it.
I love it. Come on, plug yourself, girl.
Yeah, like follow me.
And then final question that I have for you, I want to know, as you've walked into this journey, as you visualize the next steps for yourself, where do you see Ramoni as you, Ramoni as a businesswoman, or just Ramoni in all facets? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I don't know if you've ever seen this meme on Instagram. It's like, don't ask me if I have a 5-year plan because my life changes every 2 years. I don't know. Last year, I was literally living in Costa Rica teaching yoga, and I thought I was going to be there forever. And now I'm in Detroit and I'm teaching yoga. I have no clue. I really just try to take it day by day. All I can say is I'm going to keep helping people. I'm going to keep making people feel good. I'm going to keep helping people relax. And that is really the goal. However that manifests, I don't know, because I didn't even know I would be doing virtual classes. Last week, I started creating YouTube videos, and that took off. Never knew I was going to be teaching yoga on YouTube. So I cannot tell you what I'll be doing in 5 years, but as of today and probably tomorrow, I'm just going to keep helping people and keep making people feel good in their bodies.
See, I knew asking that question, I felt like you was going to bring up that meme, and I was ready.
I don't know. It changes every single day. I've lived like 15 lives, seriously.
Real. I feel it. This is why we're kin.
Yeah,
I feel
this. I done lived a couple lives.
And then I said last question, but this is the real last question. For anyone who is looking now and is still sitting here being like, okay, I don't know if yoga's for me, what do you have to say for them?
You got to take it at your own pace. It may not be for you. Everything is not for everybody, but I do think that movement is for everybody. So whether that manifest into you walking, or you like to run, you like to swim, you like to dance, move your body. Maybe yoga is just not your thing. And that's okay, but figure out what is your thing, because you can't just be sitting down on the couch for the rest of your life feeling negative emotions and not knowing how to get them out of your body. So however you want to move your body. You don't have to come to yoga class, even though you should come to my classes, whether it's online or in person. Figure out what works for you, because everything is not for everybody.
Well, I appreciate you for being here, Ramoni. Thank you so much. Plug yourself one more time.
Yoga with Ramoni on all platforms. Yoga, YOGA with Ramoni, RAMONI. And you can sign up for class on www.glowwithro.com.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.